Welcome everyone to the Real Leaders Podcast with keys from keynotes here at the Agents of Change Summit. I'm your host, Kevin Edwards. Joining me today is Adam Yates, the head of brand partnerships at Snapchat. Adam, thanks for being with us today.
Stoked to be here.
So the brand partnerships and Snapchat, what is your involvement here at the Agents of Change Summit?
Well, so for Snapchat, my job is to focus on government, politics, and nonprofits, right? To engage them and to have them get on our platform in a meaningful way, see how we can help them engage a younger audience on their terms, on a platform of their choosing, across a number of topics, whether it's government, political, or nonprofit engagement.
Okay, so maybe an example for our audience. What's a partner that comes to your mind that's been an effective solution for behavior change?
Yeah, there's two that come to mind. The first would be Planned Parenthood. So Planned Parenthood did an incredible job of using our platform to launch Rue, which is their chatbot for a younger audience. The purpose of which was to help drive a conversation, an anonymous conversation around reproductive health that gave young people a forum to ask questions that they weren't maybe comfortable asking their parents or their friends about.
Oh, wow.
The performance of that campaign did incredibly well, and they approached it very much through the lens of younger people and the provocative questions that they potentially would want to ask but are afraid to ask.
Why do you think Snapchat cares about something like this? I mean, I hate to say that's a broad question, but you know, it's a social media app. Why feel the need to do something good like this?
Well, look, I think all the credit goes to Planned Parenthood. We are a platform, and they saw the opportunity given the reach, right? When it comes to our audience, we reach over 90% of 13 to 24-year-olds in the U.S. every month, more than any other platform that exists today. So it's a natural forum for them to engage. What I give them credit on is the authenticity of their approach to the platform, talking to kids in the same way that their friends would communicate with them in a very, again, real, authentic way. And the results were fabulous. The other campaign that I think is doing an incredible job is the FDA. So we only started working with the federal government in the middle of last year, and they have gotten onto the platform in a huge way for their anti-tobacco messaging, both smokeless, anti-vaping, anti-cigarette. They're now one of the largest advertisers against the 13 to 17-year-old demographic on our platform.
Okay, so you can advertise to the young audience on your platform to promote not using vapes and things like that. That's right.
And so they saw the opportunity in the sense that, again, they hadn't been able to work with us until early last year. But given the scale of our reach amongst people who are at risk for smoking or for using smokeless tobacco, and given kind of the current climate of the dangers around those products, they jumped headfirst into that opportunity. And we're really able to reach every single 13 to 17-year-old in the U.S.
It's been very fun to watch the evolution of Snapchat from where it started to where it is now. What's the vision going forward for you all?
It's a good question. I agree. It's been very fun to kind of watch the evolution of our platform. I think, prior to Snap, I'd been at Facebook for almost 7 years. And what I appreciate about Snap's approach to social media is, they're putting the user at the center of the experience. It is a best friends network. You're connected to much fewer people on Snap than really any other social network that exists. And there's no social currency, and it gives people the opportunity to really just be themselves. I think the more that we stick with this idea of zigging while others zag, it's going to put us in a position of strength. It has put us in a position of strength, really for representing the kind of environment that is healthy, safe, and productive for not just young people, but for people at large.
And that's really important, being yourselves. And it's going to take a lot of leadership to stay true to those core values and block out the shareholder pressure, as I know it's been very difficult for other social media platforms. And that really might dissolve the true value of Snapchat. How important is leadership in Snapchat in a position like yourselves with the brand partnerships, as well as at the helm of the CEO's position?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, balancing the shareholder pressure against kind of the ethos or the mission of the company is difficult. I think we've done a fairly good job of kind of balancing those things. But to answer your question, I think leadership is essential, right? It's essential not just at the top, and obviously our CEO does a very good job kind of pushing our mission forward, but at every level, below him, right? And last year we got a new COO, and she's been incredible in kind of invigorating not just our platform, but the people who work there. And that goes all the way down the line, right? It's people who are hands to keyboard, middle management, people who are just leaders on their own, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of taking control of your own destiny and contributing to the company in a meaningful way.
Well, Adam, this has been a really interesting conversation. Learned a lot about Snapchat's role and some things I didn't know about Snapchat as well.
Are you a Snapchat user?
I am a Snapchat user,
yes.
Big time Snapchat user.
Love it.
Love the app, been on it since its early age. So the last question I have for you is I just asked you about leadership in Snapchat. Mm-hmm. What would you say your definition of a real leader is?
I think a real leader is someone who leads from the front, probably number one, right? If you have to run a race, a real leader should be there with you. That's who's transparent, who is authentic, and who has a positive attitude to solving difficult problems.
Adam, again, appreciate your time coming on the show. Had a great time speaking with you today. For Adam Yates, I'm Kevin Edwards, asking you to go out there, be authentic, and always, folks, keep it real. Thanks, Adam.
Of course.
All right, folks, and thanks for watching this episode of the Real Leaders Podcast. If you want to learn more from leaders like this interview and you just can't get enough, go online to real-leaders.com/subscribe and get your first magazine for free using coupon code PODCAST25. That's PODCAST25, getting your first magazine for free on a 1-year subscription. See you there.